Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to South Medford High School in beautiful Medford, Oregon, as we get ready for some Southwest Conference basketball for you tonight here on The Score. I'm Joey Kieran. Great to be with you here this evening for another Southwest Conference battle between the Indians and the Panthers. South Medford right now leading the Southwest Conference with a perfect 7-0 record. The Roseburg Indians coming in at 4-2, not that far behind. But tonight's matchup will be a big one if Roseburg hopes to stay in the race for the Southwest Conference title this season. We welcome you into high school hoops on a Tuesday night here in the Rogue Valley. Well, it's great to be with you once again after a little bit of a different schedule last week where we had our non-league game on Thursday. We had a couple extra days off heading into the weekend, and now look to see if this schedule helped Roseburg get its legs underneath them, get fresh for tonight's matchup as they take on the always talented South Medford club. The Panthers coming in at 7-0 in conference play, 13-6 on the season. Roseburg, meanwhile, 12-6 on the year, 4-2 in conference play. Both teams coming off of a win in their last matchup. Last time the two teams met, South Medford would pull away late in that one, but on paper, these look like two teams that should be pretty competitive. We'll see if Roseburg's able to put together 4 quarters of basketball for us here tonight. As we make our way towards tip-off, we got plenty to break down for you here as we get into tonight's contest, so stay with us for that. I want to remind everybody tonight's game is streaming live with video online at 541radio.com. You can catch the action with us there. The live video stream is presented by the Cow Creek Tribe. You can also find it on our YouTube channel. Search 1490 The Score on YouTube, and you'll find our video stream there. You can hit the subscribe button and sign up for notifications. That'll give you an alert every time we go live with another Roseburg High School sporting event. That way you won't miss any of the Roseburg Indians action. Tonight's game is just about 10 minutes away, so we will go ahead and get in our first 2-minute break here of the pregame show. Stay with us for more as we count down to tip-off. When we come back, we'll look at how these two teams got to where we're sitting here tonight. So don't go anywhere. More of the Roseburg boys basketball pregame show continues on as Roseburg gets ready to take on South Medford in a Southwest Conference battle. It's coming up here on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can expect good people, good products, and good advice. No membership needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
When the first Cascade branch opened in 1948, things were a lot different here. The fact they're still here says a lot about the way they do business.
Staying in business for 75 years requires the cooperation of generations. It's the desire to learn and grow with your community.
My account number is only 5 digits long. What that tells me is that this is a local credit union.
Cascade Community Credit Union would like to thank you for 75 years of growth and support here in Douglas County.
Back here at South Medford High School, Roseburg getting ready to take on the South Medford Panthers. We'll have your starting lineups coming up here in just a few minutes as we get ready for this one. Roseburg on the road. It's not necessarily been their favorite spot to be this season, as the Roseburg Indians will look to try and find success here at South Medford. This Roseburg team has struggled against the Panthers. Looking at the history of this matchup, it's been a fairly long winning streak for South Medford. In fact, South Medford has, let's see here, they hadn't lost a Southwest Conference game since 2019-2020. Going into the first meeting, they had won 22 straight. So they've added 9 to it. They've won 29 straight Southwest Conference games after going 12-0 last year. So Roseburg obviously looking to try and, well, end that streak and see if they can put together a challenge against the Panthers here tonight. The last time the two teams met, again, South Medford would pull away late in that one. A big second quarter gave them a lead. After Roseburg, they held a brief lead of 3 points in the first quarter, but then could not keep up with South Medford. South Medford in that game had a number of players put up well above their season averages where they sit right now. Cash Livedall finished with 7. He averages 4.2. Jackson Whelan, he is a big-time scorer, so no surprise that he finished with 27 in that matchup. Also in that game for South Medford, you had Ty Dolan finished with 11 points. He's averaging 15.1, so slightly below, but you had Carter Mills put up 13 points. He averages just 5.5, and Jed Johnson had 10. He averages just under 7. So a couple of guys that went a little above and beyond in that matchup for South Medford. Colby Schultberg averages just 3.6. He had 6 in that game. And it's just some of those small things in that game that really made the big difference for South Medford. Carter Mills coming off the bench, the freshman, he had a couple of threes in that one. And South Medford, let's see here, 2, 4, 6. They had 8 threes in that game. Roseburg finished with just 5. So we'll see how things play out here tonight. South Medford coming off of a 74-65 win on the road at Sheldon. That was on Friday last week, as the South Medford Panthers average 63.9 points per game and give up an average of 59.8. The Panthers, again, have won 7 straight in conference play, currently leading the Southwest Conference with that record. Grants Pass at 5-2, right behind them, 2 games behind. Roseburg 2.5 games behind, have played 1 less game. They're 4-2 in conference play, just a half game behind Grants Pass for that second spot. You've got Sheldon at 3-4, South Eugene at 3-4, North Medford at 2-5, and Willamette at 0-7. Right now, the top 3 separating themselves a little bit, but tonight's matchups will be a big one. Grants Pass is on the road at North Medford. North Medford hasn't necessarily been a strong team, but they've picked up a couple of wins here as of late. So they might be starting to figure a few things out. That's been a team that's been a bit of a surprise to see how much they've been struggling this year with their win-loss record. Willamette is at Sheldon tonight, and Sheldon hoping to try and stay in contention for one of those top 3 spots in the conference that would get you an automatic berth in the state playoffs. Roseburg coming off of that 70-68 win at Churchill in their last game. For Roseburg, they led by 16 in the first half, but had to hold off Churchill in the fourth quarter. A couple of some missed free throws left the door open a little bit for Churchill down the stretch, and then the Lancers would get a rebound. They would actually, no, they had to inbound. They got it down the floor. It was Jace Litton that had a look at the game-winning 3, but his shot was just off the mark. Andy McCurdy got the rebound. He did not make his free throws, but there was not enough time left in the game for Churchill to do anything about it. So Roseburg able to survive Churchill, a good team out of the 5A classification, and they would improve to 12-6 overall on the season. So Roseburg averaging 69.1 points per game. That's not quite a full 6 points more than South Medford, but they give up almost 3 points more per game than the Panthers. It's 62.6 points allowed per game. Earlier tonight, the JV game saw the Roseburg boys fall 66-48. We're just a couple of minutes away from getting this one started. Again, tonight's game streaming online at 541radio.com, presented by the Cow Creek Tribe. Pleasant drive down here, in and out of some rain on my way down south. But we're indoors, so nobody's worried about that. Here at Dennis Murphy Court, the longtime head coach of the South Medford Panthers. And coached some really talented players here at South Medford. This program has been good for a long time. It's a fantastic gym here, home of the Panthers. They've got conference banners hanging in the rafters along the wall to our right, behind the backboard. They've got all the state championships and runner-up banners that they've got up on the here at the school for basketball. Ice hockey. 2011 ice hockey state champions. I was unaware that that was a thing. You got baseball, soccer, and more basketball up there as well. So it's definitely an intimidating place to come, and the band is rocking as we get this one going tonight. Not that full of a crowd as of yet. We'll see how things progress here this evening. Just about time to take our final time out of the pregame show. When we come back, we'll be looking at your starting lineups for tonight's game. So don't go anywhere, folks. We've got Roseburg basketball coming up for you in just a few moments. The Indians take on the Panthers in a Southwest Conference battle. First place South taking on third place Roseburg. We'll have it for you when we come back. This is Roseburg High Basketball, streaming at 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can expect good people, good products, and good advice. No membership needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
Beautiful rendition of our national anthem from the home pep band for the South Medford Panthers. It's time now to take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's ball game. We'll start off with the Roseburg Indians, the visiting team. Coming in with their 12-6 record, 4-2 in conference play. Leading off will be Micah Mendoza, the senior, followed by senior guard Julian Lopez. Asher Vredenberg, second leading scorer on the team, a senior in the starting five tonight. A junior, Owen Bentia, starting as well. He's been in the lineup most of the season and getting maybe one of a handful of starts, if not his first start at the varsity level. It's Andy McCurdy, the sophomore. Now we'll take a look at the other side for the South Medford Panthers. For head coach James Whiteman, the reigning coach of the year in the Southwest Conference, his starting five will feature the co-player of the year, and Jackson Whelan, a senior at 6'1". He's their top scorer at 23.8 points per game. Ty DeLynn will be another starter, a senior at 6'5", averages 15.1, a transfer from Crater this year, starting for the Panthers. Another senior at 6'1", averaging 3.6 points per game is Colby Scholdberg. A sophomore, 6'5", post at 6.9 points per game, Jed Johnson. And rounding out the starting five will be Cole Adee, a junior at 6'1", averaging 5.4 points per game. Just about time to get this one started here, as Roseburg will be wearing the road black jerseys. And in the home whites is South Medford. Roseburg will be moving left to right on your radio dial, and South Medford will be moving right to left. Get ready to tip this one off, tonight's game. Boy, we are looking forward to it. It's streaming at 541radio.com and on our YouTube channel, presented by the Cow Creek Tribe. All right, it's time to get this one started here. Roseburg and South Medford. It'll be Friedenberg in the center to tip against Jed Johnson. He gives up a few inches there. The opening tip is up, but a whistle, and it's going to be against Roseburg, so South Medford will get the opening tip. Inbound will go into the backcourt to Jackson Whelan, who will bring it across the timeline with a left-hand dribble marked by Micah Mendoza. A couple of first-team All-Leaguers going there, but a switch on a screen. They fire underneath to Dolan. He marks up against McCurdy off the glass, and Ty DeLynn will get the first two in the contest for South Medford. Friedenberg brings it across the timeline, angles to the right side with a pass away to Lopez, to McCurdy in the corner, looks for the cutter. It's swatted away by Whelan, out of bounds to Roseburg. Indians will inbound from their baseline with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Opening possession of the night for the Tribe. Lob it into Mendoza. He'll try a three from the right wing, and he nails it. Micah Mendoza, his first points of the game, puts Roseburg in front by one. Out on the right side, fire to the top to Whelan. Tries to drive against Mendoza, cut off at the elbow. Pass to the left side for a D. Gets it to the baseline. DeLynn will drive in, and the big man at 6'5", right now taking advantage of this height advantage for South Medford. DeLynn will put South Medford up 4-3. Mendoza fires into the left corner for McCurdy. Jab step, will pass it back out to Mendoza at the left elbow. Defense came from behind to help and whistled for a foul. Colby Scholdberg can't believe it. He gets called for reaching in, making the contact with Mendoza. First foul of the ball game. Roseburg will have it with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounding from their baseline. Friedenberg gets it to Mendoza. Out to the right side for Bentia. To the far side, open look for McCurdy. He will splash in a three. Roseburg with a couple of threes here early. They're in front by two. Quickly trying to attack Whelan to the right side. A three. It's no good. Underneath, rebound tipped to Lopez. Julian will have the first board for Roseburg, and a reach-in foul on the other side by South Medford. 6:26 to go here in the first quarter. Roseburg with a couple of threes. Inbound for Friedenberg. Gets it out to Bentia. Bentia launches the three. He will knock one down. 3 straight threes for Roseburg to start out the ball game. They lead by 5. Driving in, stop at the left block with the jump stop off the basket and in. Jackson Whelan. He will make it a 3-point game. Has a chance to go to the line for the 3-point play. Foul goes against Mendoza. That'll send Whelan to the line. Whelan will make the and one. And makes it a 2-point ball game. 6:12 to go here. Dump it into the right corner. Underneath, Friedenberg got the edge but could not put it in. They went over the top of the defense. Friedenberg was in the right spot, backing his way in, just muscling up against Asher. DeLynn will get his 6th point of the first quarter, and it's a tie ball game. Roseburg in transition. McCurdy, he'll get it to dance on the iron and fall in. First 2-point bucket of the night for the Indians. 5:42 on the right side. Whelan out to the top to the near side. A rattled in 3 for Cola D. And back in front goes South Medford as the scoring coming fast and furious here early on. Across the timeline for Mendoza. Bounce it to Bentia right side. Down to Friedenberg. It'd be good to get him going. Goes with the wraparound, and he spins it off the glass. Friedenberg will make it a tie ball game. Excuse me, puts Roseburg in front by 1. At the free throw line, Whelan pulls up for the jumper for 2. And back in front will go South Medford. Timeout taken by the Panthers. We're going to go ahead and take one as well. 5:09 to go in the first quarter. Back and forth. It's South Medford by 1. 30-second timeout here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Turn your home into your dream sanctuary with help from Douglas County Farmers Co-op. For over 100 years, we've carried everything you need to keep your garden and crops green and growing, including a large selection of soil mixes, composts, fertilizers, and other soil amendments. You'll also find stones, boulders, gravel, and more to add structure and diversity to your yard. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Roseburg basketball out of the timeout. Micah Mendoza will attack from the top. Gets underneath, hang in the air. Defense all over him. Couldn't get a clean look at it. Rebound down to the Panthers. 14-13. South Medford in front. Down in the right blocks. DeLynn trying to work his way underneath. He goes with the wraparound shot. It's McCurdy that comes away with the rebound. Down to the ground was Friedenberg. On the other side, Mendoza 3. Underneath, McCurdy fighting for position. Had a bookend around him with 2 white jerseys, both Cole Adi and Ty DeLynn right there sandwiching McCurdy. He tried to get up amongst the 2 bigs, got a hand on it, tipped it out of bounds. It'll go to South Medford. Substitution came in for the Panthers. Checking into the game is Cash Livedall. Whelan, marked by Bentia on the right side, crossover, head fake, gives it, gets it right back. Drives to the free throw line. No look pass into the left corner. Livedall an open look at a 3, and he hits it. 17-13, 4-point game. Largest lead for South Medford. Lopez tries to answer. He fires from the right side. No, and the ball tipped out to Roseburg. McCurdy had it knocked out of his hands by the Panthers. We'll stay with the Indians. A fresh 35 seconds on the clock. McCurdy will inbound to Friedenberg. He'll angle to the far side. Hand it off to Bentia. Spin move to his left with the left hand. Too strong off the front iron. Whelan comes down with it. Brings it up the floor into a 3. That's short underneath McCurdy. Another board. He'll get it to Bentia, who weaves his way up the floor. Hands it back to Mendoza. Into the corner. Catch and shoot 3 for Lopez. This one finds its mark. Julian Lopez, his first 3 of the game, gets it back to a 1-point margin. 17-16, South in front. Whelan into the corner. Livedall from the opposite side launches a 3. This time it's off the mark. Lopez down with the board, races up the floor, tries to split defenders. His runner too strong underneath the board, down for South. Roseburg didn't have guys getting down in position. Whelan will get it to the top. They work to the far side to Livedall. Catch, driving, right side. And they'll call the foul on the floor, but a foul called against Roseburg. And this might be the second on Mendoza. Yeah, that is going to be the second on Micah Mendoza. And that'll send... Oh, Mendoza stays into the game. McCurdy checks out. Vincent Ash will come in for Roseburg. They inbound. It goes right to the middle. Wide open player. Foul from the backside. That might be Lopez. And it'll be a 2-shot foul for the Panthers. It does go against Julian. That'll be the 3rd team foul against Roseburg here in the first quarter. Heading to the free throw line will be Colby Schuldberg. Into the game for South Medford did come Carter Mills, the freshman. At the free throw line, first one rattles out for Schuldberg. While we got a break in the action, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg basketball. We'll hang out right here, actually. Second free throw off the mark, and it's Lopez that runs down the rebound in the corner. This is Roseburg basketball on the score. 1490 AM KSKR Roseburg and 92.3 FM KWRZ Canyonville. Handoff to Lopez, gets to the right side, and with a little bit of a bump while he's in the air, he's able to bank it in, and he puts Roseburg in front, 18-17. And they're going to either give a warning or a technical against, and I think it's a warning against Jordan Humphreys, who wanted to try and get a foul call in favor of Friedenberg on that last play, as he got bumped midair going to the rim, and one of the officials not having it gives a warning to Jordan Humphreys. South will inbound from their baseline with 32 seconds. The ball comes in out to the top. Mills will hand it off to Whelan beyond the arc. He'll pull from anywhere. He gets around Bentia. His runner, no. Got his own rebound. Put back, no. Rebound tipped out. A loose ball, and it's Friedenberg that comes up with it. Couple of looks from right underneath for Whelan, and he couldn't hit. A pass underneath. Roseburg too wild with the basketball. Almost turned it over a couple of times and finally do. DeLynn will go coast to coast. The finger roll like the Iceman. Puts it in. He's got 8 in the period. Makes it a 1-point game in favor of South again. And they will call a travel. Tried to step around the defender was Micah Mendoza, gets whistled for the extra step, and a timeout taken by the Indians. Let's go ahead and take a quick 30-second break as well. It is a close one, 19-18 South in front here on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza. Made with only the freshest and finest ingredients. Dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
.2:19 to go in the first quarter. 19-18 South in front. Tonight's game brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. And by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Roseburg with 4 3-pointers here in the first quarter. 2 3-pointers for South Medford. It's been back and forth. Roseburg would like to see a little bit better on the glass to try and get some limited opportunities and get themselves some extra chances, but right now I would feel like that number is going in favor of South Medford. DeLynn has it out at the top, push pass across the floor into the corner. Livedall will draw a foul from Vincent Ash. Ash will pick up his first, and that is the 4th foul against Roseburg here in the first quarter as we near the 2-minute mark. Inbound for the Panthers underneath their own basket with 35 on the clock. Inbound went to DeLynn. He pushed it right back to Whelan as he came from the out-of-bounds inbounds. He's out at the top. Pass it away left side to Mills. Looking down to DeLynn underneath. Friedenberg steps in front, tips it away, but it's kept by South. Whelan launches a deep 3. It's short. Mills with the rebound. A second look. Dumps it back to DeLynn. And Ty DeLynn with 10 points here in the first quarter. 21-18, South in front. Lopez almost lost it, got it back to Bentia, puts up a 3, front iron, no, rebound, tipped, and it's pulled in by Mills. He'll bring it into the front court, finds a man open right underneath, Livedall. He was trapped, he pushes it out to the top, got it in the corner, probably looked like a travel. He ends up getting the bank shot off the glass. And Livedall has 5 here in the opening period, and it's a 5-point lead for South, their largest mark. 23-18. Defense coming up here for the Panthers in the first period. Holding the basketball, Bentia finally gets it to Mendoza. He had the ball stripped out of his hands, loose ball on the floor, and a travel called. Jumping on the basketball was Schuldberg, and then he sat up and rolled over, and that gives it back to Roseburg with 35 on the clock. A couple of substitutions coming in. Andy McCurdy and Caden Luther will check into the game. Micah and Owen will get a chance to get a breather. That'll be big for Mendoza with his 2 fouls here in the first quarter. Lob in, goes out to the top. McCurdy's going to pick it up in the backcourt and will bring it into the front court. That ball tipped. McCurdy angles to the left side, will give it to Lopez. Julian back to Vince on the far wing. Down to 42 seconds to go in the first quarter. Luther hands it back to Lopez. Lopez gets free in the lane, pulls up for the jumper. It's just a bit short. Rebound tipped around. Luther comes up with it. He goes up. That ball tipped. No whistle on that one. Rebound down to DeLynn. 27 on the game clock here. Up the floor to the far side. Mills with it at the wing. Dribbles out to the top. Back to his right into the corner. Holding the basketball. 12-10. DeLynn with it, gets it to Whelan with 8 seconds on the clock. Going left side, attacking, laying it in is Johnson. His first points, 2 seconds, and Roseburg won't get a chance to inbound the basketball before the first quarter comes to an end. South goes on a run, and they lead it by 7, their biggest lead of the night. 25-18 our score after 1. Let's take a 1-minute timeout here on 541radio.com and on the Score 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
I've always handled my own finances, but I need help.
Get a better understanding of your finances. At Palm Wealth Management, we care about your priorities and help restore financial security. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Mountain Mike's, pizza the way it ought to be.
Second quarter action for you here from Medford. South Medford leading Roseburg 25-18. McCurdy, Vredenberg, Ash, Luther, and Bentia on the floor for Roseburg. They start with the basketball, moving to our right. Vredenberg, the pull-up runner from just inside the free throw line, got his own rebound. Fancy behind the back dribbling. Oh, but Luther can't finish underneath. Rebound tipped out. It'll stay with Roseburg. Couple of looks right underneath. Tough shot for Vredenberg, but got his own rebound, did some nice dribbling, and got it to Luther, who had a pretty clean look. Lob out to the top for Bentia, as Roseburg will have it. Driving left side, ball tipped out of the hands of Owen, and it's taken away by South. Panthers going the other direction to our left. Whelan, DeLynn, Johnson, Mills, and Livedall on the floor for the Panthers. They've got size and shooters out there. Whelan fires it to DeLynn, looks for the give and go. DeLynn now backing his way in against McCurdy, and he's got 12 as DeLynn just muscles his way in against the undersized Roseburg defenders. Out to a 9-point game, largest margin of the night for the Panthers. Ball tipped out of bounds. Oh, last touch by Bentia on the far side, and he knew it. It was tipped and then last touched by Roseburg. South will have it. Julian Lopez will check back into the game for the Indians. Vincent Ash will check out. Whelan will bring it across the timeline. Angles to the left side. Weaves around traffic. Got held up by McCurdy. Keeps it. Pass it away. DeLynn gets it. He'll try to attack against McCurdy. Stops. Pass in the left corner. Livedall. Head fake. Drives in. What a shot. Livedall's got 7 in the ballgame. Makes it an 11-point contest here. Livedall averages 4.2, but is his second straight game with 7 against Roseburg. Bentia drives in, puts up a wild shot, and he couldn't get it. Now a whistle underneath on the rebound attempts. Looks like it's going to go against Caden Luther. Oh, they called a technical foul on Owen Bentia. So the officials tonight have been quick to keep an eye on Roseburg here. Already a warning against Humphreys and now a technical against Bentia. First technical free throw goes through for Whelan. Second one coming here. Bentia and Luther will check out of the game. It's now a 12-point margin. Second free throw is also good for Whelan. He's got 7 in the ball game.
Landon Fanagow in for the Indians.
Landon Fanagow will check in. We have not seen him in the varsity matchup in a little while. He's been swinging and playing with the JV team since early in the season. So it's now a 31-18 game. The momentum has definitely changed in this one in favor of South. Underneath, that's Friedenberg pulling down a big rebound. Needed that one. Up the floor, Mendoza into the corner. Lopez launches too long on a three. Fanagow with the rebound. Out to Friedenberg, and Asher will knock down a three. Much needed for Roseburg to get the Indians back within 10. Into the far corner, a three, and answering right back is Jed Johnson. 34-21, South in front. Michael Bosley has checked into the game as well. Angling to the right side, Friedenberg gets it to Mendoza, gets it right back on a little pocket pass, and now a whistle against Carter Mills. Foul against Friedenberg. Mills will pick up his first. Inbound from the baseline for Roseburg. Goes into the corner. Bosley's going to try his hand at a three, and Michael Bosley off the bench. He hits a big one for Roseburg. Those threes helping keep Roseburg in this game. Back within 10. Lob across the floor into the corner. Another three for South, and another one for Jed Johnson. He's got 2 here in the quarter. He has answered every three that Roseburg's hit here in the period. Friedenberg with it out at the top. Bounce it away to Mendoza. Got it right back to Friedenberg, and no whistle on the contact as he loses the basketball. Delin will have it tipped out of his hands as he races to the iron, and it'll stay with the Panthers.
Kobe Schultberg back in for the Panthers.
Schultberg will check in for Ty Delin. Panthers basketball underneath their own hoop with 30 on the shot clock. Whelan will initiate. Gets handed the basketball. Lobs out to the top. Coming to get it is a D. He'll dribble towards the top of the arc. And it is a Roseburg basketball. Julian Lopez gets a hand in there. Last touched by Livedall out of bounds. And kudos there to Julian Lopez on fighting for that call, signaling it. Up the floor comes Friedenberg. Roseburg trailing by 13 again. Underneath, Asher Friedenberg gets free. Right underneath the backboard, lays it off the glass with the right hand to make it an 11-point game. Roseburg with 4:37 to go here in the second quarter, looking to try and make it a single-point deficit. Single-digit deficit. Livedall wide open for a three. That one rims out underneath. Rebound tipped up. Mendoza collects it. Up to Friedenberg, through his hands, out of bounds. And Roseburg just at times looking out of sorts. They've been shooting well, but a lot of turnovers in this one. And the ball will go back to South Medford. Leading this one 37-26. Nearing the midway point of the second quarter. Delin comes back into the game, and a whistle. Offensive foul against South Medford. They're going to call that on Jed Johnson. A legal screen. Roseburg basketball. Bosley, Friedenberg, Fanagow, Mendoza, and Lopez on the floor. Friedenberg gets it away to Bosley. Mendoza got some space for a three. Launches too strong underneath. And it's a foul against Fanagow as he goes over the top of a player trying to get to the rebound. Roseburg will retreat defensively. 37-26 ball game. Neither team scored in a little while here. Up to the right side, Whelan. Crossover to the left hand, lobs it out to DeLynn. He'll launch a three. Back iron, high up for the rebound. Fanigal couldn't get it as he got bookended by a couple of Panthers players. Whelan drives in. Fanigal gets a block, but then commits the foul as Whelan got it back. Nice job there by Fanigal defensively, getting a hand on the shot for Whelan. But Whelan right in the right spot at the right time to get the offensive board and then fouled in the act of shooting. 3 team fouls against Roseburg. DeLynn will hand it off. Circle around a screen. A D from the left elbow. No. Long rebound pulled down by Fanigal. He's been able to be in the right spot a lot of times here. He drives left side, stops and lobs it back out to Vredenberg. 3:22 and counting here in the second quarter. Fanigal left wing looking for help and cutters. It's not there. Mendoza will get it. Fakes the handoff. Turns and drives. Got bumped. Throws it up and count it. Micah Mendoza, big 2 underneath. Need to get him going. He's got just 5 in the game. And with that bucket, it's down to a 9-point deficit. Looking to make it 8 at the free throw line is Mendoza. Micah at the free throw stripe for the first time tonight. Roseburg has not shot free throws this evening yet. And Micah rolls it in for the 3-point play. 37-29, Roseburg back within 8. 3:12 to play. Got to step it up on the defensive end. They'll go to some soft pressure in the backcourt. Whelan will get it. No look pass underneath. Went off the hands of Jed Johnson, but he's had plenty of time to catch and regroup and put it in. Back to a 10-point game. On the other side, Asher Vredenberg weaving through traffic. Got to the rim and finishes. A 3 by Whelan, no. Bosley underneath, and there's the whistle finally. Bosley with the board, then immediately South reaching in to try and knock it away, knocking Bosley to the floor. The timeout taken by Roseburg here in the first half. They're their second of the first half. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to hang on to it right here. We're going to keep it here as Roseburg takes just a 30. 39-31 your score, back at an 8-point game right now. Largest lead has been 13. Roseburg basketball this season on the score brought to you by Moore Well Drilling, specializing in residential well drilling and available for commercial projects too. Call 541-580-5660 for a free estimate. Also, Roseburg Sports brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. That's Fisher's Hearth and Home. Make sure you stay with us during the halftime show when we will look at the first half recap and get you individual statistics and team statistics from the first half of tonight's ball game. Roseburg basketball out of the timeout. Fanigal, Vredenberg, Mendoza, Bentia, and Lopez on the floor for the Indians. Vredenberg brings it into the front court. Need to get Roseburg's top scorers going here. Vredenberg having a big second quarter. Bentia gets it underneath, had position, but he rushed the shot, gets knocked to the ground in the fight for the rebound, and it was Johnson that came down with it. Attacking on the other side, a D dumps it back to DeLynn, and he goes high off the glass. DeLynn with 14 in the ballgame. 41-31. 2:13 and counting here in the first half. Mendoza gets it, looks to attack, step back for a 3 instead, short. Rebound down to Whelan. He'll bring it, weaving up the floor to the right elbow, stops into the corner. DeLynn wide open for the 3, hits off the iron, dances on the top of the backboard, and that is out of bounds to Roseburg. Carter Mills will come in for Cole D for the Panthers. Minute 57 here in the second quarter. Angling to the far side of the floor goes Vredenberg. He'll pass it across the top to Fanigal. Gets it to Bentia on the right side. Marked by Livedall. Fanigal gets it. Stepped around everybody, and a nice move there for Landon Fanigal for 2. His first points of the night. Been a nice addition off the bench here in the second quarter. Whelan drives in, got the quick first step. His runner will fall in. Whelan not having to do a ton of scoring. On the other side, a three from the far corner might have been tipped for Bentia. It was way short. Whelan racing up the floor. Spin move to his right in the middle of the lane. Teardrop is good. 1:07 to go here in the first half. It's back out to a 12-point lead. Roseburg had it down to an 8-point game. Couldn't keep the momentum going. 1 minute to play. Vredenberg gets it to Fanigal. Right wing. Pass out to the top. Bentia catch and shoot three. Got knocked down. He hits the three. No whistle for him. Second three of the night for Bentia. Back to a 9-point game. Whelan attacking. He'll go with the runner, and that one rattles in. He's getting hot here to finish the first half. Up the floor. Lopez can't get to it on the pass by Vredenberg. Just a bit too strong. Out of bounds. Back to South Medford as Andy McCurdy will come in for Fanigal. Give a credit to Landon Fanigal coming off the bench. He was a nice spark plug there in the second quarter. A block shot, a couple of rebounds, and a nifty 2-point basket. Whelan will bring it up the floor. Shot clock and game clock separated by maybe 2 seconds. Whelan pass it away right side. Mills with it, holding. DeLynn trying to cut through the middle. He got all tangled up. Into the corner. Johnson with it, trying to force him go baseline. Bentia right on top of him, but gives up a few inches. Out to the top, ball tipped away by Mendoza, out of bounds with 7.2 seconds on the clock. It will stay with South Medford. Panthers leading 47-36. It'll be Livedall to inbound from the far sideline. Gets it to Whelan. 6 seconds on the clock. Drives left side. Spins back to his right. Pulls up just inside the free throw line. Shot no good. And that will finish the first half. I guess the shot clock went off, then the game clock went off. And that is how things will finish as we go to the halftime break. Here at the break, it's 47-36. South Medford pulling ahead, leading by double digits through most of that period. We'll come back with the halftime show, so don't go anywhere. We'll recap the first half, get you stats, and get you geared up for the second half of tonight's ball game. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Mountain Mike's, pizza the way it ought to be.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Do I have enough money put away to retire?
Plan for your future with confidence. At Palm Wealth Management, we'll help you see a clear path to financial peace of mind. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Find everything you need to enjoy the outdoors at home or on the road at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our garden center has what you need to create an oasis at home, from patio furniture to plants and everything in between. And whether you're barbecuing at home or tailgating at the game, we stock the best products from Yeti, Traeger, and Weber. Stop by or shop online at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Back here at South Medford High School at the break, it's an 11-point lead for the South Medford Panthers, 47-36. Back and forth first quarter. Roseburg and and South Medford trading baskets. Roseburg getting hot from behind the arc. They led by as many as 5 in the first period. South Medford led by as many as 7. And that was their lead at the end of the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, they would stretch it to a double-digit lead by double digits throughout much of it. But Roseburg cut it down to an 8-point game as we neared the midway point, but they couldn't keep the momentum going. South Medford would stretch it back out, and currently they lead by 11. Their largest lead has been 13. Taking a look at team numbers from the first half for Roseburg, 7 threes already in this one from the first half. They were 1 for 1 at the free throw line. On the other side, 4 threes in the first half for South Medford. They were 3 of 4 at the free throw stripe. 18 points for Roseburg in the first quarter, 18 in the second quarter. For South Medford, they had 25 in the first, 22 in the second. They lead at 47-36. Here at the halftime break, we'll go ahead and take another 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at individual scoring numbers from the first half of tonight's ball game. Roseburg trailing 47-36 at the halftime break against South Medford here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can expect good people, good products, and good advice. No membership needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
Well, some work to do as we get ready for the second half here from South Medford High School. The Roseburg Indians trailing by 11. But the way they've been shooting the three ball, if they can get the defense and rebound going, they might have a chance to start cutting into this one. Seems like South Medford, every time they play Roseburg, boy, they really start getting guys hit. And Ty DeLynn is already up to 14 points in this ball game. He averages 15.1 at 13 points in the first half. Jackson Whelan for South Medford. Also 10 points in the game for Jed Johnson. He's got a couple of threes. He averages just under 7 points a game. He had 10 the last time Roseburg played South Medford. So once again, these role player guys, they seem to be stepping up big for South Medford when they play Roseburg. Cash Livedall was 7. That was what he had against Roseburg the first time. He averages 4.2 points per game. And 3 points in the game for Cola D so far in the matchup. On the other side for Roseburg, leading scorer for the Indians, only player in double figure for Roseburg with 11 points is Asher Vredenberg. 6 points in the game for Micah Mendoza. 6 points for Owen Bentia. 5 in the game for Andy McCurdy. 3 for Michael Bosley. 3 for Julian Lopez. And 2 for Landon Fanigal. Andy McCurdy was your leading scorer at the end of the first quarter for Roseburg. He had a nice start in the first quarter. I liked what I saw out of Landon Fanigal. And the second quarter coming off the bench and providing a bit of a spark there as well. Roseburg's got work to do, but Asher Vredenberg started heating up in the second quarter. He had 7 of his 11 in that second. See if he can get going and see if Micah Mendoza can start to get into the offensive groove a little bit as well. Here at the break, Roseburg trailing 47-36 against South Medford. Tonight's game brought to you by Flyaway Travel. When you get ready to take that dream trip, contact the travel experts at Travel Leader Flyaway Travel and make sure that you have an agent in your corner in these complicated travel times. Call Flyaway at 672-5701. And don't forget, folks, to stick around in the postgame show. We'll have your Mountain Mike's Pizza player of the game. Mountain Mike's Pizza, the way it ought to be. Make sure to stop by and fill up after home games or come by to pick up something to eat when you're watching the away games on the live video stream. That's Mountain Mike's at the corner of Bellows and Harvard in Roseburg. Also in the postgame show, we'll tally up the rebounds and name your in-the-paint rebound leader, brought to you by Colorcraft, the only Benjamin Moore dealer in Douglas County. So when it's time for you to get in the paint, you can expect perfect matches with Colorcraft and Benjamin Moore. Remember, Colorcraft is a paint store, not a paint department. And the live video stream of Roseburg High basketball is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. Just about ready to get the third quarter underway for us here from South Medford High School. Want to give a shout out to Marcus, helping out with the video camera here tonight on site. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and joining us. Hey, we are just a couple of days away from the big game. That means you are running out of time to get signed up for the Score Squares game, presented by All Wired Up. Head to the Score homepage at 541radio.com to claim a square before the big game on February 11th. You could win a 55-inch TV plus a wall mount or a sound bar from All Wired Up, or other prizes from B&D Meats down in Winston. You can get all the details and register at 541radio.com. We're going to be filling in the squares coming up on Friday night, probably late Friday night, because I got a basketball game, a couple of them in Eugene, as Roseburg and Willamette will square off. So we'll probably do it late that Friday night, maybe Saturday. We'll see how things go when we get back. But get your name in now. You're running out of time. All right. Hopefully not running out of time. A whole second half to go for the Roseburg Indians. They are trailing by 11, but the third quarter about to get underway. Shout out here to the Warmouth family getting signed up for the Squares game, as well as Matt Campbell just checking in there. All right, here we go. Third quarter action for us. In white, the South Medford Panthers will be moving left to right. They start with the basketball. Jackson Whelan angling to the left side around a screen, pulls up at the free throw line underneath to DeLynn, and his size is just hard to combat for Roseburg. He banks it in for 2 and makes it a 13-point game. You've got Vredenberg, McCurdy, Lopez, Mendoza, and Bentia on the floor for Roseburg to start the third quarter. The original starting 5 out there. Looks like the original starting 5 on the floor for Medford as well. Into the corner, a 3 by Bentia, or excuse me, that was Vredenberg. No, but it's Lopez with the rebound. He goes back in, kicks back out. Another look for Asher. Second attempt does not go. Couple of looks as the ball up the floor, kicked out of bounds by Andy McCurdy. It'll stay with South Medford. Court vision there for DeLynn, trying to get it up the floor to Jed Johnson. You've got Johnson, Whelan, DeLynn, also out there Schuldberg, and Cola D, your starting 5 for the second half for the Panthers. Right-hand dribble, attacking in against Vredenberg. Had the shot blocked a bit, but Whelan tracks it back down in the corner. And it'll stay with South Medford. Angling right side, back to his left. DeLynn push pass into the far corner for a 3 by a D. No, rebound tipped around. McCurdy comes away with it, and he will dribble away from pressure. Nice job there for McCurdy. Stay with it and win the possession for Roseburg. Vredenberg pulls the ball out. 6.5 to go here in the third. Mendoza straight away. Couple of jab steps, finally attacks, gets it out to the right corner for Vredenberg. He will finally splash through the 3, his second of the game. And after his 2 attempts earlier, finally gets one to go here in the third. On the other side, trying to answer, Jed Johnson, no, doesn't hit the 3. Rebound was tipped around. It's McCurdy that comes up with it. Got it up the floor, but the ball out of the hands of Vredenberg, taken away by South Medford. The Panthers quickly the other direction. Pull-up jumper from 8 feet, no for Whelan. And the rebound down to Vredenberg. He'll get it up the floor to Lopez. Steps into a 3. That one halfway down, spits out of the cylinder. Pulled down by Schuldberg. And now Whelan will slow things down. Jackson Whelan taps on his chest as he crosses the midcourt stripe, fires it to the left side to DeLynn. Out at the top, back to the right side for Whelan, marked by Bentia. DeLynn underneath fighting for position, and McCurdy trying to stay with him, gets whistled for the foul. Andy McCurdy, I believe, down for his first. McCurdy picking up the foul with 5:36 to go here in the third period. Inbound goes right underneath the hoop. The bucket good for DeLynn. He got the lob, banked it in, and he draws the whistle for the foul. Back to the line for the Panthers. Ty DeLynn, his first free throws, the and one coming. The foul goes against Friedenberg. And I have that down as his first. That's what the scoreboard says as well. DeLynn will drain the free throw for the and one. And it is now 52-39. Back to a 13-point lead, largest lead of the game for South Medford. The Panthers will take a timeout. We're going to use one as well. 30-second timeout here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
How should I be investing my money?
Plan for your future with confidence. At Palm Wealth Management, we'll help you see a clear path to financial peace of mind. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Mountain Mike's, pizza the way it ought to be.
.534 to go in the third quarter. It was a full timeout taken by South Medford. Well, we've got a break in the action. Let you know tonight's game brought to you by Palm Wealth Management, a member of D.A. Davidson & Company, member SIPC. And by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. Roseburg basketball out of the timeout by South Medford. Indians trailing by 13, matching the largest lead of the night for the Panthers. Friedenberg angles to the right side, crossover, attacks left side, stopped, revert back to his left. His shot doesn't fall underneath. Fight for the rebound on the ground, trying to get the jump ball called, and a whistle for a foul against Friedenberg. He was reaching in as sitting on the ground with Schuldberg. And Friedenberg picks up his second quickly here in the third. Roseburg was fighting to try and get the jump ball call, did not get it. Whelan will bring the ball to the floor. I don't think he's come off the court once here tonight. He angles back to his left to DeLynn. DeLynn will get it to the top. Pass away to the left side for Schuldberg. Back into the corner, DeLynn gets the baseline. Looks for a cutter as he drew a double team out to Johnson at the top. Gives it away to Whelan. Down to 15 seconds on the shot clock. Whelan to Johnson on the right wing. Splashes in the three. Johnson with 11 in the ballgame hits his third three of the night. Largest margin of the game for the Panthers. Straightaway three, back iron no for Mendoza. Whelan there for the rebound. Up the floor to DeLynn. Did we call a travel? Thank you very much. Took too many steps loading into that dunk attempt, and it does not count. Friedenberg will get it and bring it up the floor for Roseburg. Been a quiet third quarter so far. Just 3 points on a three by Asher Friedenberg. Bentia is going to try to hit one. Front iron, no. Friedenberg got the rebound underneath against DeLynn. Will get the foul. And Asher will head to the free throw line for two shots. Roseburg's been launching a lot of threes here in the third. Not sure if they are starting to panic a bit here as South Medford stretching the lead out to its largest margin and just starting to try and huck to see if they can cut the deficit down, but got to get some shots to start falling. At the line, trying to get a couple of shots to go. Asher Friedenberg hits the first. Livedall will check into the game for Jed Johnson. Second free throw here for Friedenberg. The soft touch, a little too soft, but the rebound tip to Bentia. He'll attack, goes right up, and he will bank it in. Owen Bentia gets his first points of the second half, makes it a 13-point game. Roseburg going to a zone defensive look into the middle. Dribbling out of pressure out to Whelan for a deep three, and he splashes that one in. His first three of the night. 16-point game once again for South Medford. 3:45 and counting for the Indians. Left side McCurdy tries to attack, bounces it underneath to Bentia. Ball got tipped around, ends up in the hands of McCurdy on the left corner. Gets it underneath again to Bentia and a whistle. That is Roseburg picking up the foul. 3:34 to go here in the third. Adi and Roseburg will both check out. Johnson and Mills will come back into the game for South. Lob out to the top for Mendoza. Enters it down to Vredenberg. He can't handle it. It's taken away by Livedall. Gets it right to Whelan. Up the floor, right side, a 3 for DeLynn. And he leaves the hand hanging as he hits his first three of the night. Timeout taken by Roseburg. A 30-second break. We're going to use it as well. 30-second timeout here on 541radio.com and on the Score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with a news review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Coming up this Friday, Roseburg basketball will be in Eugene to take on the Willamette Wolverines. We'll have a doubleheader for you. The Roseburg girls and the boys will be up there playing back-to-back. The boys will be up first in the 5:30 game, so we'll have that one for you starting at 5:15 here on the Score. And then it'll be the girls game playing next at 7 o'clock. We'll have both those games back-to-back for you coming up next Friday. That's this later this week, just a couple of days away here on the Score and streaming at 541radio.com. Roseburg basketball out of the timeout. Vredenberg will get it. He dribbles along the far sideline. Whelan almost poked it away. Vredenberg gets underneath as he cradles the basketball. He lays it in. Vredenberg, really the only scoring option for Roseburg that's working right now. On the far side, Whelan out of a trap, lobs across the floor, long pass. DeLynn gets it into the corner for Johnson. Looks for the cutter, out of bounds off of Mills. Roseburg will get the turnover. 2:53 to play here in the third. Vredenberg will trot his way towards the midcourt stripe. Roseburg trying to cut down. Trailing right now by 17. Underneath, Bentia attacks. He gets a whistle as the ball spins off the iron and in. Owen Bentia with his fourth point of the period. He's got 10 in the contest and looking to make it 11 with the free throw coming up. Foul goes against Livedall. Third team foul against the Panthers here in the third quarter. Bentia at the stripe. Knocks it through. Roseburg back within 14. They trailed by 11 at the mid-game break. Right side, Whelan with double team pressure, gets it away to DeLynn. DeLynn pushes one, hooks it into the left corner, a three, no. Mills with the rebound. And a foul called against Roseburg. You've got Caden Luther in the game. I think he commits the foul there. It is going to be against the junior. Picks up his first. South will inbound from the baseline. Inbound goes to Whelan. Turnaround jump shot. He drains it right in the middle of the key. Mendoza takes it up the far side. Gets it to McCurdy. McCurdy from the left wing looking to attack. Underneath, Bentia fighting for position. And it's an offensive foul called against Owen Bentia, trying to get position in the blocks. They'll call him for a hook. And I've got that down as a second foul on Bentia. That's what the scoreboard reads. 63-47 the score. Under 2 minutes to go. Ball knocked away. Race to get to it. Friedenberg will beat everybody, and he'll have the breakaway lay-in. Asher will get Roseburg to 49 points. Back to a 14-point deficit. DeLynn gets it on the right side. Roseburg's defense, this zone, trying to trap the basketball in the front court. Mills with it on the left wing. Looks for the cutter. Johnson had it knocked away. Gets back to it at the left elbow. Attacks. Tries to step around McCurdy. Does so. And banks it in. Just trading baskets right now for Roseburg. That's not going to do it. They trail 65-49. Angle into the right corner for Friedenberg. Wants to go underneath to Bentia. Attacks. Double team. He banks it in right through the box there for Bentia. 65-51. Down to a minute to go in this third quarter. Pass tipped up by McCurdy. He's got DeLynn all over him. McCurdy makes the pass to Friedenberg. He gets knocked to the floor and makes the basket. Jordan Humphreys is in the face of the officials. McCurdy had DeLynn pulling on him and grabbing on him, trying to slow him down on the loose ball, and that's what Humphreys wanted the whistle for. Didn't get it. Friedenberg thankfully hits the bucket. Will go to the line for the and one for Friedenberg. He's got 10 points in the period. 1 minute exactly to go in this third quarter. Roseburg trailing 65-53. And Asher hits the and one. Down to a 9-point game. Roseburg back in this to single digits, looking to keep this defensive effort going. The pass almost, yes, it's taken away by Mendoza. He gets it up the floor to Asher with the finger roll. And Asher will make it a 8-point game earlier. It's now a 9-point game. We're now down to single digits. Math never a strong suit for yours truly. Timeout taken on the floor by South Medford. The Panthers talking about it for a moment. We're going to go ahead and use a 30-second timeout here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Remember the good old days when you didn't have to make an appointment or wait in line for an hour just to talk to your teller, when businesses were local and gave back to the community. At Cascade Community Credit Union, there are some things will never change. We're the only credit union or bank headquartered in Douglas County, and making our members a priority has always been our priority. For easy and simplified banking, visit CCCU. No appointment, just come on in.
The Indians battling their way back in this one from South Medford. Back within 9. They got to keep it going here, though. South Medford is into the bonus here in the third quarter with 47.8 seconds still to play in the period. Tonight's game brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? South Medford will have the basketball out of the timeout. For those that are watching online, I'm just updating the scoreboard. Both teams with 2 timeouts left, so Roseburg did not just call them. Whelan will get it, bounces it at the midcourt stripe, lobs up the floor, pass taken away by Bentia, ill-advised for Schuldberg. Roseburg will have it. There's about a 4-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Roseburg can try and get back down to their closest margin since midway through the second quarter. Mendoza holds, gets it to Bentia. Jab step, he drives, got knocked to the ground. Ball is loose. It's Luther underneath. He'll put up a shot too strong. Fight for it underneath, and a foul whistled against Roseburg on the rebound attempt. Bentia tried to dribble around some pressure, ended up on the ground. And they will call Bentia on that foul. Luther, nice job fighting to get to the basketball, but could not get up a very easy look underneath with defenders everywhere. 14.4 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and it'll be Colby Schuldberg at the free throw line to shoot 2 as the bonus comes into play. Schuldberg hits the first. He had missed one earlier, hits it there. Schuldberg on the season, a 54% free throw shooter. He hits the second, so he is 2 for 3. 67-56 Roseburg down by 11. They've cut back to where they were at halftime, trying to get it in a little bit closer. Mendoza driving in, got stripped out of his hands with 1.8 seconds on the clock. He'll go to the free throw line, and the South Medford faithful don't agree with the call there. So it will be Ty DeLynn picking up his second. Nope, make that his third. And Micah Mendoza at the free throw line. Quiet night for Micah so far. And, of course, South Medford's going to be paying plenty of attention to him, trying to slow him down, averaging almost 20 points per game. Micah hits the first of his 2 free throws here. 1.8 second on the game clock. Micah's second free throw coming. Hits them both. South Medford with the inbound. Lob up towards midcourt. Catch and shoot for Johnson. Well off the mark. And we will end the third quarter with Roseburg down by 9. 67-58. Roseburg cuts down the deficit. We head to the fourth quarter here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
I've always handled my own finances, but I need help.
Get a better understanding of your finances. At Palm Wealth Management, we care about your priorities and help restore financial security. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Mountain Mike's Pizza, the way it ought to be.
Eight minutes to play in this one. Roseburg trails by 9, their closest margin since midway through the second quarter, as they outscore South Medford 22-20 in the third. Micah Mendoza trying to get going. Instead, sends it to the far corner. McCurdy driving in. Jump ball. It'll go to South Medford after Roseburg starts the third quarter with the basketball. McCurdy driving in. His shot just a bit too strong, but give him credit for getting back in there and at least forcing the jump ball. 7:45 and counting. Roseburg needs to continue the defensive effort we saw in the second half of that third quarter. Whelan brings it up the floor to the right side. Roseburg's gone back to a man-to-man defense. Driving in. Swat there by Mendoza, but a whistle late as Colby Schuldberg driving in will get the whistle. He'll head to the free throw line for 2, where he is now 2 for 3 at the stripe. Came in averaging 54% at the line. Tonight's ballgame brought to you by Dr. Alanson Randall Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Visit drrandall.com or call him 541-378-6694. First free throw good for Schuldberg. He's got 3 in the ballgame, 3 points and 3 free throws. He's now got 4. So much for being a 54% free throw shooter. He's 4 for 5. Bentia brings the ball across the midcourt stripe, hands it off to Vredenberg. Angles back out towards midcourt. Bounce it away left side at the wing for Mendoza. Looking for a screen. Double team came. He'll lob it off to the far side for Vredenberg. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Asher tried to hook a pass around Wieland, and it is knocked out of bounds by South. It'll stay with the Indians. In the corner, Roseburg will have the basketball with 11 seconds on the shot clock. McCurdy will be the inbounder for the Indians. Gets it into Mendoza. He gets a lot of white jerseys around him and will draw the whistle as he goes up looking to shoot. Whelan can't believe the whistle came. And he will be the offender on the call. Jackson Whelan picking up his second. Sends Micah back to the free throw line, where Roseburg likely needs to be solid at the stripe here in this fourth quarter. Micah will hit the first. Lopez will check back into the game for Roseburg. Caden Luther will head to the bench. Roseburg with the starting 5 out on the floor. South Medford with the starting 5 as well. Second free throw, nothing but nylon for Mendoza. Hits them both, makes it a 9-point game again, 69-60. Wheelan around a screen, open look at a 3, clanks off the right iron. 3 black jerseys there for Roseburg. It's Friedenberg that comes away with it. Races into the front court as South Medford retreats back defensively. They get back in position quickly. Bentia gets it left side, looks to get it down to Mendoza, attacking against DeLynn, got around him, and they'll call the foul against South Medford. Second team foul against the Panthers here in the fourth quarter. And for DeLynn, that'll be his 4th. DeLynn with 22 in the ball game. Inbound goes to Friedenberg, gets it at the elbow, lobs back underneath to Mendoza, but he misses the bunny from right underneath. Up the floor, DeLynn attacking quickly, and he's too strong. It rolls off and into the hands of McCurdy. McCurdy will bring it up the floor, got it up to Mendoza, cradles it in, and he lays it off the glass. A quick 2 there for Roseburg. First field goal since the second quarter for Mendoza, but Roseburg's back within 7 as we near the 6-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Out to the top, head fake, driving in, the runner off the mark for Wheelan. He tracks down his own rebound, goes back up, spins it off, and no, it's Friedenberg down with the board. He'll push it up the floor, doesn't have the numbers. Tacks in the middle, kicks out, a 3 for Bentia. He hits it! Micah Mendoza, Asher. It's Owen Bentia. I'll name them all. I'm like a parent with multiple kids that can't find the right one that did something wrong. It was all good from Bentia. On the other side, Friedenberg tips it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Panthers, but the defensive effort there. 69-65, 4-point game, closest we've been since the first quarter. My apologies for getting all sorts of discombobulated there. Inbound from in front of the Medford bench, lob to the rim, and a foul whistle called before the inbound pass. They're going to call it on Friedenberg. 5:39 to play in the ball game. Roseburg back in this one. It'll be an inbound from the baseline for South Medford. Wheelan looking to inbound, will get it in, gets it right back. He'll dribble out towards the top as he dribbles through pressure. Right side, nearly taken away. Man in the air, Schuldberg gonna draw the whistle. And we'll see if this is a shooting foul or not. They call it against Friedenberg, got him in the air, and they are gonna say it's a 2-shot foul. Schuldberg was trying to step around Friedenberg. Roseburg fans trying to say not a shooting foul, but Schuldberg's going to go to the line where he's been good here tonight, and he hits another one. Caden Luther's going to come in for Asher Friedenberg, who picked up his 4th, so he's going to get a bit of a breather here. Second shot. Short underneath McCurdy with the board. Roseburg into the front court. Friedenberg on the bench. He's been the hot player tonight. McCurdy looking down to the blocks on the left side. Mendoza couldn't get the angle. Across to Bentia from Luther. Owen gives it back to Caden. Back out to Mendoza. 16 on the shot clock. McCurdy lobs underneath to Luther. Had it stripped out of his hands. It's taken away by South. Good defense there for the Panthers. Wheelan angles right side, stops at the top of the key, draws it back out. Looking to attack, gives it away to Adi. Adi back to Wheelan, right side, an open look at a 3, and he will knock it down. Big bucket there for the Panthers. They're back in front by 8. 73-65. 4:40 to go in the contest. Roseburg battling back to make it a game. Angling left side. Mentia gets it straight away 3. Well off the mark underneath. It's DeLynn that draws it in. Wheelan going to attack. Weaves through everybody. Gets the bucket and a foul. Nobody marked him going coast to coast. and the senior co-player of the year last year in the Southwest Conference. He is carrying the Panthers right now. He's got 5 in the period, stretching the lead back out to 10, and he looks to make it a 3-point play. Crowd goes quiet as he sinks the free throw. 76-65, timeout taken. It's going to be a Roseburg timeout. They will use the timeout. It is a full, and we will use a 30-second timeout as well. 30-second break here as Roseburg, after making their run, now down by 11. Back after this 30-second timeout on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza. Made with only the freshest and finest ingredients. Dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
Don't forget, the big game is coming up this weekend. Super Bowl 58, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers will have plenty of coverage from Westwood One in Las Vegas. 3 hours of pregame leading up to the game coverage starting at 2. Pregame coverage starts at 11. And then the game coverage starts at 2. Trust me, the game doesn't kick off at 2 o'clock, but that's when we'll go to game day coverage from Westwood One. Looking forward to Sunday's matchup. Looking forward to how this one will finish out. McCurdy, a catch and shoot 3 from the right corner. Andy McCurdy, his second of the night. Andy McCurdy gets Roseburg back within 8. 4:05 to go. Still time in this one. Roseburg's got to pick up the defensive effort like they did at the end of the third quarter, and they go back to the zone, trying to trap in the front court. Whelan gets around, attacks, finds the backside cutter. It's Livedall that leapt up to get to it. His pass is tipped away, and a foul called against Whelan, who, once again, can't believe it. 4 fouls on Roseburg here in the fourth quarter. On the other side, I think that might be the 4th against South Medford. Whelan will pick up his 3rd. Asher Friedenberg has checked back into the game with his 4 fouls. It's only 3 team fouls against South, according to the scoreboard. Friedenberg backing his way in, lobs out to Bentia, catch and shoot a 3, looks on target. It was halfway down and didn't want to stay. It spits out, and the rebound down to the Panthers. Oh, that looked good from this angle. We were right behind that one. Rebound down to the Panthers. Oh, that looked good from this angle. We were right behind that one. Whelan with it out at the top, back to a man-man defense for Roseburg. Mendoza marking against Whelan. Lobs, and it's taken away by Friedenberg. He doesn't have the numbers. He'll slow it down. Ball got knocked away, but it goes to Mendoza. Micah threw it underneath. Ball tipped out of bounds by Cola D. Excuse me, that's Schuldberg. And it'll stay with Roseburg underneath. 3:11 to go in this one, 8-point game. Out to Mendoza at the top. Looking underneath, fires it instead across the floor. Lopez gets open. He will go with the reverse shot. Julian Lopez, first time he's gotten points since the first quarter. He makes it a 6-point game again. He's got 5. DeLynn on the far side, long pass across the floor. Livedall, pump fake on a 3, doesn't take it. Whelan's going to attack quickly, and with the left hand, Jackson Whelan will finish. He's just so fast with the quick first step. 2:43, this fourth quarter starting to wind off quickly here. Left side, Mendoza lobs down to Bentia over the top of the defense. 3 players around him, puts up a shot. It dances on the iron before it doesn't go, and Humphreys wants a foul, doesn't get it. He calms himself to not get a technical. Backing his way in is DeLynn, makes the pass to Livedall. His shot, no, and the rebound knocked up, saved back in by DeLynn, goes right to Livedall, who has an easy look at 2. 10-point game. Left side, Lopez at the wing, looking underneath to Mendoza, bounces it down to him. In the middle, Mendoza knocks it right down. Back to an 8-point game. Roseburg doing everything they can to stay in this one. It's DeLynn with it on the left side. Will pass it across the floor to Whelan. He will attack. He lost the handle on it. He wanted a foul, didn't get the call. Up the floor, Bentia lobs to Mendoza, who draws the whistle, can't get the bucket. But Roseburg looking to bring the house down on a possible alley-oop there. Instead, Mendoza goes to the free throw line. The senior getting things going here in the fourth quarter. Trying to keep Roseburg in this one here at the charity stripe. 1:41 to go. Still time in this one. 14 fouls against South Medford, 4 against Roseburg. Mendoza swishes in the first of his 2. Cola D checks in for Jed Johnson. 80-73 your score. 1:41 to play. 80-73 your score. 1:41 to play. The lefty fires up his second free throw. Oh, that one an adventure, but the ride finishes at the bottom of the net. 6-point game, 1:38 to go. Roseburg continues to apply some half-court pressure. Dribbling in the backcourt. Whelan finally gets it across the timeline. Across the floor to DeLynn. He's going to attack. Spin move to his left. Got mugged. And Ty DeLynn will go to the free throw line, where he is 1 for 1 on the night. DeLynn coming into this fourth quarter with 22 points in the game. That foul goes against Andy McCurdy. Picks up his second. DeLynn will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. DeLynn will get the first to fall in. Stick around in the postgame show. We'll wrap up this one for you here tonight when it goes final, however this one plays out. So don't leave once the final horn is sounded. Stick around for the postgame show for all of the recap. 8-point game, 82-74. Bounce it away, left elbow. Mendoza gets it to Lopez, right side. A 3 is good! Julian Lopez with 5 in the period. Lopez makes it a 5-point game, 82-77. Whelan steps around a defender. DeLynn gets it, attacking against McCurdy. Lobs it to no one. Turnover with 64 seconds to go. Roseburg down by 5 can make it a one-possession game on a made basket. Roseburg has 1 timeout left. South Medford has 2. Friedenberg brings the ball into the front court. Lobs underneath. Bentia wide open. Got hit from behind. DeLynn will pick up the foul, and that's his 5th. And Ty DeLynn will foul out of this game with 24 points, and that's a big post presence for the Panthers. At the line, Owen Bentia will have a chance to try and make it a 3-point game. Bentia's first free throw. This side of the floor has been brutal for Roseburg. So many shots halfway down before they spit back out. Second free throw coming. They got to get a sub in for DeLynn. Is that not his 5th foul? That's what they... Why are we not subbing out here? Second free throw, Bentia rattles in. Now they're going to sound the horn at the scorer's table. Checking in will be Bosley. Ty DeLynn has still not come out of the game. I saw official scorer B.G. Gould raise up his hand that it was 5 fouls. I have it down as 5 fouls. Roseburg's going to commit the foul. I must have been incorrect. I thought he had fouled out. They have it down as 4 fouls now up on the scoreboard. Heading to the free throw line will go DeLynn in an 82-78 ball game, and he misses the front end. Bentia and Friedenberg will check back in as Bosley and Ash will check out. They had come in to use up some of their fouls. Second free throw for DeLynn is good. Timeout taken by South Medford. The Panthers lead 83-78. They take their timeout. They should have 1 left if we can trust what we've been told. We're going to keep it right here as Roseburg trails this one 83-78. 54.6 seconds to go in the contest. The Indians looking to draw up a quick bucket here. And Let's see if they can then get a quick steal or a quick foul and try to stay in this ball game. Big effort to come back. They trailed by as many as 13 in the first half. We're down by 11 at halftime. The lead got up to as many as 19 in the third quarter. But Roseburg outscoring South Medford 22-20 in the third. Got it back down to single digits. Got back out to a 10-plus lead here in the fourth quarter, but Roseburg rallying back here in the fourth. They have outscored South Medford. Let's see here. It would be 16 for South Medford and 20 for Roseburg. And they currently trail by 5. Out of the timeout, Roseburg basketball, full length of the floor to go. McCurdy, Vredenberg, Lopez, Bentia, and Mendoza on the floor for the Indians. Roseburg will roll the ball in. Clock will start near midcourt. Vredenberg into the front court, bounces it away to Bentia, gets it to Mendoza. Lopez gets it, hands it off to Bentia. Crossover, got free, ball knocked away. It'll stay with Roseburg. 26 seconds on the clock. Vredenberg will inbound from the baseline. Inbound goes to Mendoza. He tried to feed it right back to Vredenberg. The ball got tipped, but he was able to get back to it. Put up a shot, no. Rebound pulled down by South, and they are going to. Roseburg's going to have to foul. McCurdy tried to slap Whelan. He's just staying away from everybody. Finally, Lopez will commit the foul to stop the clock with 32.3 seconds on the shot clock. Roseburg within 5 here, under a minute to play. But with that miss and Whelan going to the free throw line, this might be a little too late. Whelan is an 84% free throw shooter. As he heads to the stripe, he will hit the first.
Cash Livedall back in for the Panthers.
Cash Livedall will come in for South Medford. One more free throw coming. Second free throw for Whelan. Gets that one as well. Roseburg trying to move quick. Vredenberg into the front court. Gets it to Bentia in the corner. A little bit of space. Launches the three. It's short, and rebound pulled down by Livedall. And that might just do it. Bentia is going to pick up the foul. They say that's his 5th. Who knows what's true or not anymore. So the foul committed. Bentia is going to foul out of the game. He did have a technical in this one. He's got 4 points in the contest. And excuse me, he has 4 points in the quarter, which puts him at 17 for the game for Owen Bentia. Livedall at the line. He has got 9 points in the ball game. Livedall hits the first of his free throws. He was just a 63% free throw shooter coming into tonight.
Timeout, Roseburg.
Roseburg will use the timeout as they trail by 8. Final timeout in the game for the Indians. Oh, coming up on Friday, don't forget we will be back on the air with more Roseburg basketball for you. Starting at 5:15 for pregame of the boys game, and then after that it'll be the Roseburg girls taking on the Willamette Wolverines in our doubleheader from Eugene. Coming up tomorrow, Sutherland basketball on I-101 FM. We normally do on Wednesday nights DC Sports Spotlight, but with all the chaos going on around the office this week and last week with the hacks that have gone on and have made life a little bit difficult around there with trying to accomplish our usual feats we do on the radio. We're not going to have a show tomorrow night. We'll hopefully get started to back up with that coming up next week. Coming up on Friday, our final episode of the Umpqua Basin Tailgate Show for this season. Season 2 wrapping up on the Friday before Super Bowl, so tune in for the Umpqua Basin Tailgate Show coming up on Friday at noon here on The Score, presented by BTB Moving. One more free throw coming here for Cash Livedall. And he misses the second one. The rebound down by McCurdy. And ball stolen away by Whelan. He will break out in front of everybody, lays it in, and Jackson Whelan will help ice this ball game. The score is going to look a little bit more lopsided as a 3 by Mendoza is short, and that's going to do it here tonight. The score is going to look a little more lopsided, but Roseburg made a huge run to get back in this one. Unfortunately, they come up short. 88-78 is your final score as South Medford will win. That'll be their 30th consecutive Southwest Conference victory, dating back to a couple of seasons ago. Tough one there for Roseburg. They put themselves in a hole in the second quarter, tried to dig out of it, almost did, come up just a bit short. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will wrap it up with the postgame show for you, folks. Roseburg falls to South Medford 88-78. This is Roseburg High basketball on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can accept needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
Well, a big effort in the second half for Roseburg. Unfortunately, cannot overcome first place South Medford as the Panthers continued their undefeated run in the Southwest Conference. And the loss will definitely be a sting for Roseburg as they look to try and rally in for a shot at the Southwest Conference title. Joining us now here in the booth is head coach of the Roseburg Indians, Jordan Humphreys. Coach, first, what do you say about the effort you saw out of your team in the second half to try and dig themselves out of that deficit at halftime?
It was great. I mean, you saw it. Everybody saw it. We came out at halftime and we worked hard. You know, we talked a lot about how to change stuff after halftime, and I think we made some steps towards that today. And not coming out flat, and so I was proud of our guys for that. I was proud of our guys staying locked in for as long as we did in the first half before we let them go on a couple little runs, little big runs, whatever you want to call them. I was proud of our effort coming out in the second half.
The first half, just how tough is this South Medford team? I mean, they've got size and they've got shooters, and when they get it rolling, it's kind of hard to guard it all.
They are tough to defend, yes. I 100% agree with that. Our help side was awful. I mean, they got guys driving the basket, and, I mean, we talk about it, and then, we got to do a better job as coaches of teaching help side defense. And I mean, yeah, I don't know how many lanes they had with nobody standing there ready to contest like we're supposed to, and so we got to find a way to teach that better.
Does their size, do you feel like that was a big factor in the game, or is it just more that you guys weren't playing the sound defense you'd like to see out of the guys?
I thought our perimeter defense, as far as off the ball, was decent besides help side. Jackson is extremely difficult to guard.
Yeah.
We post defense on 11. We just let them walk into the post and turn around, and we just weren't physical. We didn't match the physicality, and that hurt us. But I think this tail of the first half is missed lanes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we missed 10 lanes in the first half. And what were we down at half?
11.
11. Yeah. I mean, first half we should have been ahead. I mean, and they weren't like contested lanes; they were wide open lanes that we missed. And so, that's another thing that we got to do a better job of. Finding ways to teach our guys to finish around the rim and focus on our lanes. We make those, and we get to help side defense, and they miss a couple, and all of a sudden halftime is, flip-flopped, and then second half is we'll go back to what we used to do and have a lead and come out flat.
Well, it was a fun second half, at least up here in the booth, to see the team battle their way back and make it a ball game down the stretch. Final score 88-78. Joining us is Coach Humphreys. We've talked about, that's 30 straight wins in conference play for South Medford. They obviously are a team that comes in with a lot of that a team's got to kind of mentally prepare for and mentally try to get over. I think the fact that the guys showed a little backbone in the second half is definitely something that hopefully the team can build on and continue to kind of get into that killer mentality, that Mamba mentality I know you like to preach about with this team. Do you feel like these guys are starting to maybe at times find that edge that can help them win in close games and hopefully in big games when those come around with the tail end of the season and into the postseason?
Yeah, I definitely think we've shown that we can battle in those close ones. It's just tough. South Sheldon, and now this one we were down 19 in this one and down 22 at Sheldon. Once you battle back that hard,
yeah.
Everybody says, "Oh, you got it so close," and then you let it slip away. Well, it's pretty tough to mentally focus for that long, and that's the thing that South Medford has: mental toughness. They have a culture here that we don't have of staying locked in every possession. You can see our guys. A couple things don't go our way, and we take a possession off, and we're not locked in for a possession, and that ends up costing us 2, 4, 6 quick points because we can't move on to the next play, and South Medford doesn't do that. Something happens and they're like, okay, next play, and that's kind of that Mamba mentality you mentioned as far as staying locked in, no matter what happens, no matter the scoreboard, no matter what the officials do or don't do, yeah.
I'm not going to broach that topic here on the airwaves with you. So up next will be the Willamette Wolverines. You guys have a couple of days. What do you plan on trying to talk to these guys about here as you gear up for the Wolverines?
Well, like you just said, and I followed up with, is being locked in every possession. And it goes back to all of them. It's the same message.
Yeah.
Look at it on paper. They haven't won a league game, and how have we done against teams on paper that we think we're better than? Not very good. And that's that mental toughness that the South Medfords have to be locked in against everybody, on every play, no matter what. And getting our guys to do that in a game that on paper we should win big is just as much of a challenge as getting them to do it in a big game when things go against you, because the mentality piece has to be there every single possession. And if you can do it against, if you're playing a middle school team or you're playing a JV team or whoever, if you have that same mentality no matter what, then that carries over to the big games like this. And that's what we got to get to against Willamette, being locked in every possession.
Coach Jordan Humphreys joining us here in the postgame. Coach, appreciate the time here with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you up in Eugene.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We continue on here with the postgame show as Roseburg falls against South Medford 88-78, your final score in this one. Let's take a look at some of the numbers here real quick in this one. Let me count up threes real quick. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Roseburg finishes the night with 11 threes in the game. Not too shabby there. 11 threes for Roseburg. They went 11 for 13 at the free throw line. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8 threes in the game for South Medford, and too many free throws to count up here on the air, so I'm not going to do that as I was putting the numbers together, and Coach Humphreys came up, so I didn't want to keep him waiting. Let's take a look at Roseburg's individual numbers here tonight. Leading the way with 24 points, and let's see here. I've got these numbers on a different sheet for Asher Vredenberg. Not quite a career high for him. That's 28, but 24 tonight. A good night tonight for Asher, coming in the middle quarters, the second and the third. 16, a big fourth quarter for Micah Mendoza. He finishes with 16. Owen Bentia had 17, contributed pretty evenly throughout the ball game. 8 points for Julian Lopez, 2 for Landon Fanagau, and 3 another 8 for Andy McCurdy. Sorry, that is a career high for Andy, and 3 for Michael Bosley. On the other side here tonight for South Medford, I'm just going to go through them one at a time here. That would be 10 points in the game for Cash Livedall. Let's see here, 30 in the game for Jackson Whelan. You had 25 in the game for Ty Dolan. Ty DeLynn, 5 points for Colby Schuldberg, 15 points for Jed Johnson, 3 points in the game for Cole D, and that is your scores for South Medford in this one. It's time now in the post-game show to name our Mountain Mike's Pizza player of the game for the Roseburg Indians. Mountain Mike's Pizza at the corner of Bellows and Harvard in Roseburg. You can stop by to pick up pizza on your way home. Easy on off there at the 124 interchange with I-5. I am going to give your player of the game. I think these awards are going to go to the same two people here. Andy McCurdy is going to be my Mountain Mike's Pizza player of the game. He gets a start here tonight, does the sophomore, finishes with a career-high 8 points, and did a lot of everything, especially going against the much bigger Ty DeLynn. He finishes as your Mountain Mike's Pizza player of the game. He's also going to be your your in the paint rebound leader, brought to you by Colorcraft. I've got him down for 8 rebounds tonight. In Colorcraft, they're your only Benjamin Moore dealer in Douglas County. You can check them out. And remember, Colorcraft is a paint store, not a paint department. The Colorcraft in the paint rebound leader, Andy McCurdy. He receives a $10 gift card to Java Run. We'll have those awards for players later on in the season for those that might be curious. That's going to do it for the broadcast here tonight. Roseburg, unfortunately, does not come away with a win against South Medford here this evening in any of the 3 games. I'm pretty sure the the freshman game looked pretty lopsided when I stopped by that gym before we got started with the varsity game. JV lost 66-48, and the varsity game finishes as an 88-78 loss for Roseburg against South Medford. Our next broadcast is going to be on Friday when the Indians head to Willamette. Want to say thanks to the South Medford Panthers for hosting us here tonight, to B.G. Gould, the patriarch of South Medford, of Medford sports down here. He does everything, but he always makes sure that I got a great spot to broadcast from. Want to say thanks to Athletic Director Adam Blue, Head Coach Jordan Humphreys, and the entire Roseburg basketball program for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg basketball here on The Score. Want to say thanks to Marcus for helping out with the video camera tonight for the broadcast. Big thanks to Connor McLean back in the studio running the radio production for us here this evening. And as always, a big thanks to you, the fan, for tuning in for tonight's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I'm Joey Keyran. We'll catch up with you on Friday when we've got a Roseburg basketball doubleheader. It starts with the boys' game at 5:30, the girls' game at 7 as they take on the Willamette Wolverines. Our pregame coverage will start at 5:15. You can catch us streaming with video online at 541radio.com or tune in for Roseburg High basketball right here on Douglas County's home for sports, The Score. 92.